Greetings, metal community, and welcome to this kind of Into the Crypt. I'm going to talk about Paradox, German thrash legends in a way. A lot of people know about the first two albums, but they have actually released some pretty kick-ass albums in the later 2000s. I'm gonna get to that soon. We can start with a demo collection that I picked up a couple of years ago. Demo collection 86, 87. Pretty cool edition of it out on Floga Records. Most of these songs are on the first album, so I mean, you don't necessarily need it, but it's cool. It's always cool to hear the first demo versions of it, just to compare them to how they turned out on the first album. So the first album was, as you all know, and this is one of the two albums that everybody knows, Product of Imagination. Very cool cover, almost a Motorheadish cover. I also picked up the reissue of it. I don't like the kind of difference they have done with these two covers. This is way more colorful or clearer, and the logo is better. It's just, this is very bland. So the OG is way cooler. So I'm gonna put away the reissued one. I mean, it sounds great. It's Diabolical Might Records did the reissue, but they didn't do a great job with the cover, I think, compared to the original one. Yeah, this is pretty fast, a little bit speedy thrash, melodic thrash, if you want to. Power thrash might, but it's more speed thrash, I would say. Pretty fast. They're great players. I mean, I don't need to speak much about this album because everybody knows this or should know this album. Great album. If I should do a ranking, this is probably third or fourth place for me. Still love this album, but it's actually a couple of the new ones that have hooked me in. But killer album, killer debut album. I mean, if you're gonna do a debut album video or some Paradox first album is absolutely a banger. But then, the album everybody knows, again, this is the OG on Roadrunner 89, Heresy 1 or Heresy. Cool, very good album, and very kind of a big step up from the first album when it comes to songwriting and how they play. I mean, this is very tight. It sounds very good, well produced, pretty heavy as well, I would say, in the guitar sound, and but just a excellent album. This is my favorite Paradox album still, and just a killer album that you all know. I mean, everybody, when it talks about Paradox, this is kind of the album everybody talks about. So then in 1991 they kind of shut down the band and reformed in 1998. I think that was most of the original band members that was on the reformation. So in 2000 actually, they released Colliscourse. The first album since 1989, so it's been a long while, and this is one of their hardest albums. Riff-wise, it's very thrashy, but it's kind of very a lot of the muted thrash riffs, not so much of the kind of melodic leads and the melody that you are used to. So this is maybe their most brutal album in that way, and I think Jürgen Aumann has this as one of his favorites from the newer era. I do like it, but it's a little bit too long for me. And they have also kind of, yeah, they added extra stuff on here that makes the album even longer. But riff-wise, this is a killer album. This is really, really good thrash. But I'm kind of, after 8 songs, I'm kind of done. So, but still a very good album. And I can say it now. I mean, none of these albums are bad in any way. They are all great and above. So, very good album, but a little bit too long for me. Then kind of turn around very much for this next album that came out in 2007, which was pretty long after the first comeback album. This is Electrify. This is way more melodic and almost a little bit more heavy metal in the music as well. Yeah, I would say on this album as well, the vocals are a little bit weak compared to the heavy riffing in a way. So yeah, this album it's softer, it's more melodic, and it's kind of if you had mixed the 2 first comeback albums, I think they would have been more perfect. But great album, a lot of great songwriting on this album. It is kind of my least favorite album, but it's there's another one that is not as good as this, but yeah, but it's still a very good album, and I mean, you really can't go wrong with any of these new albums. But a way softer album. The vocals are better on this album, I think, in overall, but maybe because of the more heavy metal or more melodic stuff fits his voice a little bit better. So, but yeah, great album once again. Then we're coming to the album that's playing in the background that was for a long time my favorites of the new ones, Riot Squad. This came out in 2009, and this is a great rougher album. It's kind of a little bit more thrashy than the previous one, but kind of this album is more what I kind of expected Paradox to sound like. They have more of the leads, they have more of the kind of melodic elements to them, as they are known for in like Heresy. I think this is their second most brutal album as well, and I would put this kind of in a similar as the first album, so maybe I split 3rd place, or I will put this 3rd and Product of Imagination in the 4th place. But absolutely killer album, and kind of the length of the album is pretty long, but it doesn't bother me at all. But yeah, kind of more of a perfect. I mean, most of their albums are like, I think the shortest one is 48 minutes, and a lot of them is around, close to an hour long. So yeah, and they have some cover songs on a couple of albums, but I'm not gonna talk about that because they are crap in my opinion. I don't like cover songs on albums, but they have put them dead last. So if you're going to do a cover, it's just. But yeah, just listen to this. Pure good thrash. Then we are going to 2012 with Tales of the Weir. Looks like this. I think it's the same crew still. I not double check, but I'm pretty sure they had a pretty consistent. I mean, it's just a vocalist, guitarist back now, but yeah. This is a pretty good album. Again, a little bit too long. For me, it is not as. It's more melodic again. It's a little bit softer than the Riot Squad. Still a very good album. It is kind of what you want from Paradox. It's not the best album, but it's kind of, you know, number 5, number 6, something like that. Great album and great songwriting again, you know, as I said, a little bit more melodic, a little bit more softer than Riot Squad. So they kind of go a little bit, change up a little bit. And then we're going to 2016, was quite a long time between those two albums with Pangea or Pangia. This album is fucking great. This is my second favorite Paradox album. This is as close I think you can get to Heresy without listening to Heresy. Great songwriting. The album doesn't seem too long. It's not the longest album, but very good songwriting, very good production on it. The vocals here is his best performance when it comes to variety. He has a lot of more variety on this album. I don't know why. I don't know if they experiment more with the vocals here, but it just works very well and kind of you know, change the vocals a little bit, you know, for the harder songs, and yeah, just absolutely banger of an album. Highly recommend this if you're going to check out newer Paradox. This is my favorite of the newer one. So you can say Riot Squad and Pangea if you're wanting to check out newer stuff. Then we have the last album they released, and it was back in 21, Heresy II, End of a Legend. And yeah, I mean, this album is way too long for me. I always just listen to one disc, then I because it's just way too long. There's a lot of great songs here, and when you just kind of limit yourself to it, it's a bundle of great songs, but it's just that it drags out. All the songs are pretty long, like 7, 8 minutes and 9 minutes, a lot of the songs. So yeah, but as I said, there are some absolutely killer tracks here, and you should check it out. But this is my least favorite album by Paradox because it's kind of it's way too long. It's 1 hour and 14 minutes or something like that, and that's way too long for a thrash album. It is very well much in the vein of what they have been doing, but as I said, if they had kind of made a 50-minute long album with the best songs here, it might be one of my favorite albums. But I don't know if you can see the title tracks here, but I mean, even though it's my least favorite Paradox album, it's still a very good album, and as all the Paradox stuff is. They have a new release coming out now, which was a unreleased demo from 1990 with a different vocalist. I will probably buy that because, you know, I do have all their stuff, so and it would be cool to just hear a different vocalist. This is a kind of a weird kind of a, I don't know what to call it, smoky or marbled, kind of a cool color, fits very well with the color scheme of the cover, so I'm not too troubled by this one. I don't remember if both of these discs were, yeah, both are the same, like this, so would prefer it to be black, but this is limited to 100 copies, so but yeah, I mean, you should go and check out New Paradox. If you like the first two albums, go and check them out. I mean, this is I would say a very overlooked discography of a very good band. I hope there will be new stuff, but I think the drummer died last year, if I remember correctly, so if they will continue, I don't know. Probably at some time if he feels like it, but go and check out Paradox. And as I said, once again, for the newer stuff, this is my two favorites, Riot Squad and Pangea. I will link them up below so you can go and listen to them. Yeah, just hope I can get more people to check out this band, because they deserve more attention. And yeah, so thanks as always for watching and subscribing, and be sure.